Yesterday there was a news of two Malayali one couple died of COVID in Chennai, no, Tamil Nadu. They didn't even took any medicine or something. So
today we have the topic of bank audit using MS Excel in the CBS environment. Our speaker is CAU Saran Kumar from Hyderabad. I now call upon our Vice Chairman CA Jose KV to welcome the gathering.
Thank you, Alan. Most respected CA Saran Kumar, today's speaker this afternoon session, and our MC members, Secretary Diva Ugis, Treasurer Alan Joseph, SICASA Chairman Salim, immediate past President Roy Varghese, and our past President and member, past Chairman Srinivasan, and other senior members and friends in profession. So today we are having we are on the last day of our chain seminar, CPE chain seminar. By this time, most of our members received the appointment letters from the banks, and some of them received the inquiry mails regarding the eligibility to be appointed as the branch auditors. So branch, our Ernakulam branch is keen to keep equipped with all the members, especially in this bank audit time. We have conducted bank audit on a physical mode as well as on the virtual chain seminars. And today we are having a very important session on tally, on Excel in bank audit. And we know we can use so many for reports or for certifying the reports. The Excel is very important. We use Excel in almost all the audits, but especially in bank audit, the nature of the transaction or the volume of transaction is very huge. So this Excel is, of course, it's very, very much needed. And especially for the asset classification, if you analyze, doing the analysis of security-wise classification or facility-wise classification or date of identification of NPAs, we use Excel. And it gives an easy analysis. It gives easy analysis and find out, is there any problem, especially on security. Sometimes we find that security value, the collateral security value is entered, but the primary value is not entered. We can easily identify through the Excel, and also the pending stock statements for more than 6 months or 3 months or stock audit pending. We can do a lot of analysis through Excel. And today, to discuss this and elaborate on the subject, we have Saran Kumar from Hyderabad, and he is a very young and dynamic chartered accountant. He is very good trainer in Excel and data analytics. On behalf of Ernakulam branch and all the MC members here and all the participants, I extend a hearty welcome to our speaker for this afternoon, CA U. Saran Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I also extend a hearty welcome to all the managing committee members to this virtual seminar, and I also welcome all the participants, all the senior members as well as friends in profession to this CPE virtual meeting. Over to Alan.
Thank you, Joseph. Saran Kumar is a practicing chartered accountant and a managing partner at T. Satyanarayana Company, where he heads a division with special assignments that includes forensic audits, transaction audits under IBC, automation and tool building for organizations, as well as ERP process audits. He has a diploma in information systems audits and is a certificate holder in forensic accounting and fraud detection. C.S. Saran Kumar also has experience of over 12 years and has previously worked with Microsoft and Credit Suisse before moving into full-time practice. At his practice, he's a sought-after trainer in the subjects of Excel and data analytics. He's been a guest speaker at various seminars organized by Institute of Chartered Accountants as well as various other institutes on topics related to data analytics and using Excel as tools for various audit-related aspects. His expertise also includes data analytics. He's helped his career as a corporate trainer, where he's trained many corporates on advanced MS Excel, macros, VBAs, Power Queries, Power Pivots, and Power BI. He's also the founder of an educational website and a training platform called excelism.in. Saran sir, whenever you're ready, please start off. The floor is all yours.
Great, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, first of all, to the Ernakulam branch for inviting me for the session. In fact, when chairman called me, I asked him how you got to know about me. He said, sir, I watched one of your video at SARC website. So I thought, okay, this time I should like to invite you. Thank you so much for the Ernakulam branch, and wishing you all the very best for the new management committee. In fact, almost 2 months old, I know. Wishing you all the very best. And in today's session, I would like to concentrate more about, I am sure you all know Excel, you all know how to work with files in MS Excel. My focus is, along with working in MS Excel, how we can prepare the best documentation, okay? Because documentation are the only one, the working papers are the only one which can save our skin once the audit is over. Keeping that also into the mind, I would like to start my session. Generally, you know, my session, if it is a full day seminar, physical seminars, they keep my session post lunch as the last seminar so that people will not sleep. And even in the series at Ernakulam, they kept Excel as a last topic, but that is fine. But till now, whatever you understood from all the 4 sessions, you are going to keep it into a tool. Unless you keep it into a tool and analyze the data, I doubt about the quality of the audit, because whatever you know about all of the things, we can't orally explain or look into each and every document. So we need to do the analysis more. So I'm sure my session may be helpful towards that. Without taking much of the time, let me directly jump into the session. I think my screen is visible for everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Great. Friends, this is the roadmap for today's session. In this session, I'm going to talk in next 2.5 hours to 3 hours. What is the new thing in the new LFR? Introduction to the core banking solution. I'm sure I already CBS session over with you, but still I'll just try to touch upon the important aspects in the CBS. Different CBS and menu list. It's because every CBS having its own menu, hundreds in number. What I did, I compiled all the menu which is important for you. I kept in a folder. I already shared the content with the branch. I'm going to just show you 2 to 3 screens, how exactly in the Finacle the screens looks like, in the Banks 24 how it looks like, and so on, so that you will at least have a little familiarity before going into the branch. The core focus for today's session is converting the unstructured data into the structured data and getting the inferences out of the stratification. Stratification is very important. So once you start doing the stratification, that stratification gives us a lot of inferences. So how to get the inferences out of the stratification? What are the ways you can identify the NPA from the structured data? Once you convert entire data into the Excel, by doing filters and writing small functions, how can you work? How can you identify the NPA? If you have a ledger account, maybe let's say CC account, how can you calculate the out of order? Then along with that, the sampling and reporting is anyway throughout the process. Let me go into that. This is one slide which I always keep in every session. For the last 2 to 3 years, I'm continuing the same, because I feel even today this slide is having a lot of relevance. I feel, okay, including me, this is what the mindset of most of the auditors. In the month of February, they decide that, and they have a great will that this year I want to do the best bank branch audit. That is what they always think. Then considering the same, they start compiling lot of material, because these days whatever the material with the name bank audit, first we'll download it. That's all. Okay, so they compile lot of material, lot of resources, they store in proper folder, and they attend almost every bank audit seminar. And finally, after having all this exercise, they step into the bank. Once they step into the bank, I don't know what will happen to all the chartered accountant for next 3 days. Well, from the day they step in till the last day, they will be into the trap of the branch manager. They'll start, till yesterday we started, listening about all the IRAC norms, rules, regulations. But once we step into the bank, we started suddenly looking into the ground reality. So then we started listening the branch manager. When branch manager says that, sir, he is a very genuine customer, I'm sure he'll pay next 2 days almost every amount. Then we also, suddenly we become a, psychiatric fellows or any other fellows, then we started judging the clients. We immediately looking at the client, I think this fellow looking like a genuine, okay, let me ignore this. Okay, so we forget all the rules and regulations. And suddenly a day will come, maybe 6th day or 7th day, where we need to sign all the documents. Again, while we sign the document, we realize that, okay, I did not do the best audit this year. Let me at least start working for the next year to do the best. So again, this cycle just go on and on and on. At some point, we need to break this cycle. That means at some point, we should have a mindset that we should complete the audit in a best way. I wish for all our members, this year is that year. So let us all focus the rules, NPA norms, prudential norms, than what just the branch manager is trying to tell, because we are not just looking into the reality, ground reality there, because we are not the employees of the bank. We all need to understand that point. We are the auditors. When a branch manager did some mistake, it is our duty to rectify. When there is a deficiency, it is our duty to comment. When there is an irregularity, it is our duty to take the point towards the audit report and so on. So let me take a next slide. I even like this slide all the time. In fact, even in my forensic classes, I display this slide. 80-20 approach is the best approach to do the best bank audit, because if you ask me what is the first day of the bank audit, I feel once you confirm all the documents, once you give the confirmation, once you start exchanging the communication, then next day onwards, you can start working with the client. Generally, our approach is we go to the branch, we spend some half a day time to understand the branch, then we'll start working. But if you ask me, I doubt whether that approach works for you. 80% of the work you get ready before even you step into the bank. That means you should start compiling the information from the bank. When I say this, immediately you're going to ask me a question. Sharon, can you please tell me a method how we can compile the data from the branch managers? Because many branch managers are hesitate to share the data. Even if you ask this question, I don't have an answer, honestly, because getting the information from the other person, I feel, is not a science, but it is a art. So it is pure art to get the information from your branch manager before going into the bank. So once you get the information, 80% of the work, I feel you should work at home or at office, then you should step into the bank. So 80-20 approach, I request you to follow. Let us look into the next one. This is a very basic slide of the CBS environment. As you all know, CBS is having 3 servers: the application server, database server, and reporting server. Application server is the server where the operating staff or the user key into the data, key into the application server. He enters the data. Once he enters the data has to go and sit at the backend. That we call it as a database server. This entire data will go and sit into the database in a structured data format. As an auditor, you may not get the access to the database server. No, you are not going to get the access. If you get the access to the database server, you need not to only look into only that particular branch. You can look into n number of branches. And that's the original data, core data which got stored at the backend. As an auditor, you are going to get the access to the reporting server. Reporting server is the server where all the reports are in place. Reports can be for regulators, can be for the management for better decisions, can be even for the auditors, right? So they design the report in such a way that report is having some purpose. That is the one which we need to do the first exercise before going into the bank. First, you must know what is the CBS this particular bank is using. Once you know the CBS, you make a list of all the menu commands which are required. Then once you make a list of all the menu commands, then you can start filtering the menu commands which may be helpful to you. Once you start filtering the menu commands, then keep it ready, because once you go to the bank, immediately you are going to work on those menu commands. Reporting server is different from CBS to CBS. In case of banks 24, reporting server is nothing but a folder where you can go to a particular server where all the branches folders are there. You need to go to the branch for which you are doing the audit. Once you go inside, you are having all the date reports. Once you go to 31st March 2021, you are having all the again reports in zip format. There you will find loan balance file, CCDP file, NPA file, exception reports, n number of reports you can get it. In case of FlexiCube and Finacle, you can download the report directly from the Finacle server. Okay, so these all are the basic three CBS environment, Banks 24, Finacle, and FlexiCube. I'm not going to take you to the CBS here because we are not having even prototype of CBS. Even if I would like to show you the CBS, maximum I can show you the screenshots, or as maximum I can tell you the theory. So just by understanding the theory, you can't go on, you can't do the better audit once you step into the bank. So first, I'm going to show you only the screenshots so that at least the screens will be familiar to you if you are new to the Finacle, if you are new to the Banks 24 or FlexiCube. And all the menu keys I kept there. I'll tell you how to extract the data, okay, by using a couple of documents. I'm just going to demonstrate to you the folders which I've shared with you. These are all the working files in that CBS commands are there. These are all the Banks 24 report, right? You can find these many, GZ is basically the zip format, what they use there. So these many reports, the Banks 24 is there, especially the SBI bank. So if you look here, then let me search here for the loan. Okay, once I find here, you will find a report overdue loans. LOND 2494 is the code. When I click here, report on loan account sanction today. Let us go here. Okay, when you start looking here, all the loans related you can find here. So these are all menu keys. You can start spending the time. I'm sure this will be giving you little help. And also let me show you the Banks 24 codes, how it looks like, screens, how it looks like. So this is the NPA process, how it happens in the SBI. Okay, you can go through this material, leave about for bank audit. Even you read after the bank audit, you can. It is going to give you a lot of understanding. Lot of NPA related understanding. So these all are the screens of Banks 24. Once you click the IP address, it's going to take you inside. Then it's going to give you some of the fields, and the right side is all the reports. Once you click it, that particular report you can find it, and so on. So this is the way the screens looks like. Just have a little familiarity before going into the audit. I'm sure you can at least have better understanding. So you can just go through this material. This having 50 pages. Wherever it is, wherever I'm going to talk about NPS, I'm going to talk something out of this report. That's the reason I kept here. If you go to the CBS commands here, you have Finacle menu commands. In fact, this I have got from the internal document of Finacle, where you have bunch of menu keys. Some of the menus may not be helpful. That is meant for the bank operating staff. The menu is, for example, if you go to the exception report, this is what you are going to get. So exception reports always give us the exceptions. For example, the exception report is basically, let's say there is a process, when there is a deviation to the process, that will be part of your exception report. when there is a change in the interest rate, that can be part of your exception report. Or when there is a dormant account where suddenly 1 crore rupees deposit was there, so that will be into the exception report. So you can just go through these reports, filter the reports based on your menu keys. So if you go here, FlexiCube, these all are very simple reports where you can find the load statement, customer NPA report, and so on. Just go through this. These all can be handy before you go. So you must need to know which CBS you're going to work with. You take that particular file, you go to the bank, and then you can start looking into the menu keys by visiting their internal server. My point is not about the CBS. That is the way I'm just trying to show you how the screens looks like. Let me just go here. Finacle presentation by Infosys. I found this material from the ICAI website, I think, because Infosys has given one e-learning to ICAI for the auditors. Even there, they have just given the screenshots, but these all are the basic screenshots you can find in the Finacle. Okay, so you are going to have the Finacle server. Once you go to the Finacle core, then you can find a menu shortcut. Are you finding your menu shortcut? Once you click the menu shortcut, whatever which I have shared with you, the important menu shortcut, and click go, then it's going to ask you for the inputs. Once you put all the inputs, whatever required, then it's going to ask you the question, do you want to get the report on the same screen, or do you want to download the report? On the same screen, it looks like this. And if you want, that's gonna dump into the Excel. So you can just go through this. Though these all are just screenshots, but may give you little understanding. Okay. So let me close this. Let us go to our full focus for today's session is Microsoft Excel. Let me open one important document. I'm sure you all may be having this document. You might have compiled from different sources, but I request you to download from the RBI website. This is nothing but the long form audit report review. I'm sure you might have gone through this at least once, at least for the part where the branch auditors are responsible. So this entire report of LFR divided into 4 annexures, 2 annexures and 1 appendix, and 3rd annexure is there. First one is for the central statute auditor, second one is the bank branch auditors, third one is for the specialized branches, and 4th one is for large regular critical accounts for branch auditors. So we are going to focus more towards this. So when you go here, my focus is, because if you know this part, I'm sure the way you work with the branch audit will be different. Because many people are having an intention, maximum are thinking that they are going to the bank to do that sampling transaction testing, and they want to identify the NPA, and they should give the audit report, they should come back. No, let me tell you, that is not just only the objective of the bank audit. Have a look here. The overall objective of the bank branch audit should be to have the transaction testing and to provide the inputs to the central statutory auditors on adequacy of implementation of various policy and regulatory requirements. The second one is very important, because anyway we do the transaction testing. Along with the transaction testing, there is an equal importance that we should provide the inputs to the central statutory auditors on the adequacy of implementations of the policies, requirements, and so on. That means your prime job as a branch statutory auditor is that you need to identify the process related gaps. You must need to identify any deficiencies with respect to the efficacy of the system. Those all you need to put in the report, so that those all can be the inputs to the central statutory auditors. Let me tell you, your name will not be there in the bank audit report. All the central statutory auditors' names will be there. That means they are the people who are going to put in the final report. That will be spread across all the CBE everywhere. Whatever the audit report you have given, that will be there at the bank, at the branch. Okay, so how can central statutory auditors go to each and every branch, identify the system lapse? That's the reason you are there. Your 50% of the focus must be identify the areas where there has to be an improvement, identify the areas where deficiencies are there, put into your report and give it to the central statutory auditor. That is part of your LFR. If you know this, probably the approach towards doing the entire bank audit will definitely change. Because than just going and looking into the documentation and identifying the NPAs, you always look into the process related aspects. Once you start looking into the process related aspect, then probably the central stat auditors may, let's say, for one central stat auditor, there are 70 branches, 100 branches are there. So out of 100 branches, 15 to 20 branch auditors has given the same comment with respect to the short review. Okay, so the comment is nothing but short review happened in the system, but the documentation is not there. What they do in a hurry, they just go to the system, they just change the date so that it will not slip into the NPA. But when it comes to the documentation, no documentation is available for the short review. When you identify, you put in the report. When 20 auditors keep the same thing in the report, now the central statutory auditors start looking into this. I think this is interesting because almost like 20 people kept this. I think there is a lot of deficiency with respect to the same. So in this particular region, maybe this is like a culture which is just piling up. Then if possible or if required, he may highlight the point in his final audit report when he want to give the LFR and so on. Okay, so this is one important point I would like to focus. Then let us all look into the LFR, because my session is more of connecting to the LFR. Now I'm not going into the other aspects because I'm sure you might have already got from other faculties. I'm directly jumping into the advances. If you observe here, this tell us the way how we need to do the entire audit, how we need to plan and complete. The answers to the following questions may be based on auditor's examination of all the large advances. Large advance meaning is, large advances are those in respect of which the outstanding amount is in excess of 10% of outstanding aggregate balance. That includes fund-based and non-fund-based, or 10 crore, whichever is less. Last year it was 5% or 2 crore, whichever is less. Even if we get a branch of 200 crore, I am sure at least 10 to 15 accounts which are falling of 2 crore are at least 5% of the total advances. But now the limit got increased. I'm sure this is a real positive thing for CAs. Okay, we all always look into the negative aspects. I'm sure they asked for a lot of information, there's no doubt. But when it comes to large advances, now my scope is limited with respect to the 10 crore or 10% of the total advance, whichever is lower. Now, what auditors has to do with respect to the large advances? I feel even this care paragraph is also important. For all accounts above the threshold, the transaction audit, specific details to be seen and commented. Whereas the below threshold, the process needs to be checked and commented upon. That means above the threshold, you must need to do the transaction audit. That means during the year, whatever happened, everything you must need to look into. That is your job. You can't escape anything out of it. You can't take a sample out of the large advances, because large advances completely you need to cover. Simple. When it comes to the below threshold limit, RBI is expecting us to give the checks with respect to the process. Sharon, you look into the process of interest, whether it properly fed into the system. That's one process. Sharon, you please look into the a process of maybe SMA reports matching. Sharon, you please look into the NPA classification, whether it is correct or wrong. Okay, these all are the process. So below threshold, I will, for each question, I will take separate comment. I'll take a separate sample, then I'll work on those samples. So obviously, you can't do the 100% audit because we get very less number of days. So we need to divide the work in such a way. Above the threshold, we need to divide among the staff and they have to complete the entire audit. Below the threshold, based on the questions, you need to prepare the sample. Okay, so let us go below. First, let me go to the Excel. Okay, just for the demonstration purpose, what I have done, I have just made a couple of files for you. You can just open these files. Let me open the stratification with the data. This is having the loans. This is having the CCOD. Very quickly, without taking much of the time, let me make a calculation of total large advances. So particulars, So you can just go to amount. This is the loans equal to sum of outstanding. So go to the loan file, then I'm sure you will find a column called balance outstanding, close bracket, enter. Because it's a negative value, to avoid the confusion, let me put minus before that. Okay, this gives me the total of loans. Then you immediately take the CCOD total equal to sum of, I can go to this file, just go here, then you can just take this, close bracket, enter. Just to avoid the confusion, let me have minus, right? Copy, paste special format, so that the same format will appear. Now let me have the total advances. This gonna be the 167 crore. Now limit for large advances. Okay, limit is equal to, there is a function in Excel called minimum. Okay, then you take this into 10%, comma 10 crore, whichever is lower. So in this particular case, the large advance is nothing but the 10 crore. It's always good if you write the formula here. So let me just show you the formula so that you can understand better what I'm doing, right? Yeah. So these are all the formulas I have written. Now let us go and filter whether any of the account is above 10 crore. Now I'm just going to the balance outstanding. Now since it's a negative, so let me go to the number filter, take the less than 10 crore. See, no account came. That means in the loans, no account is above 10 crore. Let's come to this. Now I'll just go here. I'll go to the balance outstanding, go here, less than, minus 10 crore. Wow. Right? Two accounts are there. Copy this. Go here. Now you can just do Control V. Friends, along with your preparation, your working papers also must get ready. This is the annexure, one of the large advances. Then I can just keep it as a title of annexure 1. These are all accounts which we need to examine. That means we should do the transaction audit. So I'll simply put my staff name. Let me put my staff name as a Saranya and one more staff as Saran. So you can just start allocating this. If you find 20-30 accounts, then you can just start allocating that to each staff, whoever based on your planning. Okay. So this is what the first annexure in a simple way we can prepare. Second one, let me start looking into my LFR. Let's go here. And also friends, all the accounts you examine for the audit, you need to keep here. See, this time, earlier also we used to keep this, but this used to be the working paper for us. Now working paper is part of your entire audit. So that should be part of your LFR. So account number, account name, balance at the year end, funded, non-funded, total, you need to give the total. And also you need to give what is the percentage of the sample you have taken. This table creates two problems. Okay, two issues. Once you put the account number here, that means you are taking the responsibility of that particular account number that you have examined that account. If something goes wrong with that account, you are responsible. For example, considering the risk, if I don't keep it here, your sample percentage size will go down. There may be a more chance that they may ask the question later that why you have taken very less sample. Just to make this sample bigger, okay, don't increase the number of accounts here, because if you put so many accounts here, that means you indirectly are taking the responsibility of all those accounts, as simple as it. Okay, so let's go down. Once you start going down, you will have one more question here. Have you come across cases of quick mortality in accounts where the facility became non-performing within a period of 12 months from the date of first sanction? Details of such accounts may be provided in the following manner. This is the first time they are asking about this. If you observe here, they want to understand the internal control or effectiveness of the credit department, because if an account became NPA within 12 months, it's not, if you ask me, it's not about the borrower issue, it is about the credit department issue. If a person, okay, is maintaining account in our branch for last 10 years, 11th year, it became an issue, became NPA, okay, that's a regular process. But a borrower became NPA within 12 months, that means I'm sure the very poor documentation, the poor internal control it's having. Maybe as a bank, they just want to know how many items are part of this so that they can understand at least what is the internal control. Let's say how you're going to answer this question. Okay, so how I'm going to do it, first you can understand so that you can easily work on this. Let me open a file called Quick Mortality. Friends, more or less, you'll have the same columns in any of the loan balance file. I've taken the advances file where it is having GL code, whether it's a performing asset or non-performing asset, account number, account name, customer ID, outstanding, sanction date, NPA date, and reference. These are all of the columns I've taken, right? So this is basically the one you will get it. Now, what I'll be doing, I'll just make a filter, or else you can just remove the filter. Now I'll have a different column. What I'm going to do, because I'm going to work for only non-performing assets, let me select only NPA. In case of NPA, I'm sure there must be a date called NPA date. I'm sure your file also will have a sanction date. Let us start looking to this question, what they're asking. Have you come across the cases of quick mortality in accounts where the facility became non-performing within a period of 12 months? That means even exactly 12 months or about 12 months, that you need not to report here. That's the meaning of it. That means below 12 completed months. Okay, less than 12 months. It's not less than or equal to 12 months. So what I'll be doing, you can't take this minus this divided by 365 and so on, because number of days may be different. So just to get the total number of months, I'm introducing you one function called a date diff. You may be surprising that, Mr. Saran, while you are typing date diff function, why the syntax is not coming? Okay, so let me tell you, date diff is a little peculiar function. When you're trying to work with this function, the syntax will not come. But still at the back end, this function works. Okay, Microsoft has removed this function for a different purpose. Some technical issue was there, so they removed this function, but still at the back end, this function works. Now, don't worry, though the syntax is not there, let me tell you what is the syntax. First argument is a sanction date. Take the sanction date, comma. Second argument is the NPA date. Take the NPA date, comma. Third argument is I want the number of months. So let me put in the double quotation M. In keeping in the double quotation M means between these two dates, you will get the total number of months, completed number of months. That means if 11 months, 10 days is there, Excel is going to take only 11 months. If let's say 11 months, 29 days are there, Excel is going to display only 11 months because it's going to consider only completed months. Enter. Copy paste. Let me copy paste this. Very good. Now I want to have a filter. Tell me what type of filter I should keep here. Is it less than 13 or 12? I need to give less than 12. Why? Because even if it's exactly 12 months or about 12 months, it's not going to consider. So let me enter. If you enter, these are all of the accounts which became NPA within 1 year, within 12 months. Now, friends, because I'm reporting only for the 1st April 2020 till 31st March 2021, I'm going to put the filter here. I don't want to consider NPA which happened last year. I don't want to consider NPA which happened last year, right? Only for the current year NPA I've taken. Now, if I click OK, now let me copy this, and this is what your final annexure. Okay, now you can simply paste here. You can just say that this is the annexure number 2 on quick mortality account. Right? Yes, name it as annexure 2. Simple. What you're going to do, you're going to put here a text that during our audit, we came across the instances where the account became NPA within 12 months. The following are the details. Please refer the annexure to. Simple. My job is over. Okay, so that's the way you need to answer this question. Stratification is very important. Once you just start stratifying the data, I'm sure you can get it. There is one more question while I go through this. I'm finding here. What is that question? Whether in borrower accounts, the applicable interest rate is currently fed into the system or not. Okay. So in a normal cases, if I'm not wrong, the way you are going to write the answer for this is no. We did not find any instance where interest rate is not correctly fed into the system. Otherwise, we ask the branch manager himself, sir, have you changed any interest rate at the back end? So no branch manager is going to tell that. Don't ask that question. Then what we do, we take very randomly the sample. Then we'll take, let's say 10 to 15 accounts. Then we'll ask our staff to look into those accounts. We'll ask our staff to go into that account details where interest rate is correctly mentioned or not. Whenever you go to the master data of the particular account, it's going to give the entire history of that account. When recent the interest rate got changed, before that what was the interest, whether it's a fixed or floating, if it is a floating, from which date it is applicable, and so on. Everything is part of your master data once you go into the respective CBS for the respective account. But I don't want to tell you a sample method for this. I don't want to show you the random sampling, because the problem with the random sampling is that, let me take this hypothetical situation. Let's say you have done the audit. After 5 years, you get a call from the regulator RBI. RBI asked you to come for a tea. You'll go there. He'll offer you the tea. While you have a conversation, he started telling, Mr. Saran, 5 years back, you have done the audit of this particular branch. Then we say, as an auditor, sir, remembering last year itself is very difficult for us. You are asking about to take 5 years back. But Sharon, these are the branches you have done. So we get the confirmation from the office that, yes, these all are the branches we have done. Then immediately he started telling the story. Mr. Saran, out of the branch accounts, what you have done the audit, we found one account is fraud. And that too, the fraud happened in the same year when you had done the audit, when you appointed as a statutory branch audit. If that is the case, how can you prove him that you did audit entirely with a good intention? That is nothing but our working papers. If working papers are strong enough, then we can simply show the working papers stating that, sir, we are following the sample method. This is what my approach to the sample method. When you don't show the working paper to him, though you have a good intention, they consider as if you are not done the audit, as simple as it. Okay, so that's the way it works. So that's the reason, whatever the sample you want to take, there must be some procedure for that. If you ask me a question, Mr. Saran, for this, what is the procedure you may adopt? Don't worry, let me tell you that. Let me go to the loans. Just give me 1 minute, 1 minute only. Sorry. Yeah, I'm back. So let me take this loan balance file. Let us go to the insert. Let me click the pivot table. Let me click OK. It will take everything into the next previous sheet. Now just keep it down. Friends, this is a pivot table fields. When mistakenly, when you close this, you can go to the pivot table analyze. You can find the pivot table field list. Otherwise, you just go your right click and you can find the pivot table. Oh, sorry, you can find the last option, pivot table, show pivot table fields. Okay, this is the one. Now, pivot table is one of the very important tool in MS Excel, which can give you a lot of inferences about the data. It can summarize the data basically. Now, what I'm going to do in my loan balance file, account number, GL code is nothing but the GL code is nothing but the loan type. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me drag my GL code to the rows. All the unique GL codes came one below other. Now I will take, you know what, I will just take the account number and keep in the values. Okay, I'll tell you what is the meaning of it a little later. Then I will take the balance outstanding and keep it here. Okay, so I'm sure till here everyone understood. It's very simple. I just want to know how many accounts are there. I also want to know what is the total of all the accounts. That means what is the total outstanding. Now I'm going to take the rate of interest and keep here. You may be laughing looking at this pivot table stating that, Mr. Saran, are you mad? This is nothing but the total. What is the meaning of keeping a total of this particular account? Okay, this particular GL account. So don't worry, I'm not going to take the total. There is a meaning for that. Let me just drag here. Now, let me right click this. Let me summarize values by min. So in this GL, 22 accounts are there. The lowest rate of interest is 7.3. And also let me right click here, summarize values by this gonna be the max. So out of all the accounts, this is the maximum rate of interest. When the product types are almost same, there should not be much difference. Okay, there can be a difference, but there must be a proper reason. Number of accounts is this one. Then this is balance outstanding. You can simply put outstanding. Then I've taken minimum interest rate, minimum rate of interest. Yeah, interest rate. Then this is maximum interest rate. Okay, so this is what your stratification. Now, can we do something? I can have a spread between these two equal to this minus this. Copy paste. Now, what is the interpretation it is trying to give it to me? Mr. Saran, for the same GL, there are 22 customers are there. Or for lowest interest rate, the bank has charged is 7.3. Highest rate of interest is 11.5. There is a spread of 4. There is a spread of 4. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, let me get the sample. I want my staff to verify out of these 22 accounts, 3 accounts. Out of these 30 accounts, 2 accounts. Why 2? Because the spread is very little. Out of 4 accounts, 1 account, because there is no spread. Out of 14 accounts, maybe 5 accounts, because 5.8% is the difference. For one person, it's 8.6, the other person is 15%. Why there is a difference? You must need to understand. In this case, let's take 2, let's take 9%. In this case, let me take 10. Then in this case, let me take 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, sorry, 2, this one 1, and this one 3. So I can just have my sample size, right? So you can just go here. Then you can have the sample size. You can allocate the sample to the staff, whatever the staff name. So you can just start giving the staff name. But here, out of 22 accounts, 3 accounts I want to take. So if I want to take 3 accounts, what accounts I should take? Again, random out of this? No. If you ask me, the approach which I follow, I ask my staff to take the below 3 accounts. Why? Because I don't think so branch manager intentionally keep the interest rate more, because if you keep the interest rate more, even leave about auditors, the borrower itself cannot keep quiet. Okay, he'll come and shout. So there is a more chance if borrower, if branch manager want to give the advantage, he will reduce the interest rate. So what I'm going to do, I'll allocate the values of sample towards the downside of this entire data. Okay, so even out of 2 samples, I'll take maybe 2 samples from the last 2 or maybe last 3 or else alternative last interest rate and so on, so that you can find majority. It looks like 37 is a big sample. No. If you ask me, no. Why? Because when you properly allocate among the staff will not even take 5 minutes to check it out one account, because he just need to take the sanction letter, then he need to go into the system, he need to check it out whether the interest has been properly fed into the system or not. Then he'll go to the second account and so on. Once now, okay, staff has done the audit, staff has given the remark here, okay, check is verified and fine, okay, or else okay, and so on. Staff has just filled everything is okay. What is the meaning to him? That means I verified everything is fine. But tomorrow, whenever you look into this data, whenever you have any issue with respect to this data, how can you prove to the other person that your staff has done this audit, he verified this? Maybe he may write without even verification. That's the reason the extended working papers are most important. What I'll ask my staff to give, I'll ask my staff to give the proof of the check. That means in this case, especially, they're going to log in into the system of CBS. Then they'll go into the account details. Then they are going to have all the details with respect to the sanction. Okay, so with respect to the interest rate and so on. So once they find it, I'll ask them to take a snap of it with the phone. Once they can take a snap, maybe at the day end, I'll ask them to compile all the images at one place. Friends, the future of the profession is in the hands of articles and in the hands of working papers. If you don't have a working paper, it treated by every regulator that you did not do the audit. Though you are having a good intention and you are not part of any of the thing. But even, okay, if you have the proper working paper, then the other person may think that, okay, you kept some effort to do the entire audit. That's what my point. But Saran, how can my staff can get the working paper here? It's very simple. So let me tell you the method through which they can get the working paper to Excel. Let me just take a snap of it. For example, just for the example sake, now I want to take a snipping tool of this. Okay, this itself is a small proof. What I'm going to do, save it. Let me write a name as a proof. Okay, one. Then I can go to the branch of Ernakulam. I can go to the folder. Then let me go, keep it here. Proof one. Click save. Now what I'm going to do, I'll ask my staff to keep the cursor here. Go to the insert. I'll ask them to go to the object. Click. Then go to create from file. Go to the browse. You can go to the Ernakulam branch where proof one is there, double click. And I want to display this as just as an icon. Once you display this as an icon, okay, you can just make it small, which can fit into the cell. Even after 5 years, if you open this file and if you double click this, that image will get open. Now let me double click this. Don't worry, it will get open. Or else, let me save this file, close. Let me close even this file. Okay, let me now go back. Let me open this certification with the data. Now, whatever the proof is there, let me double click this. Let me double click this. I'm sure that image will come. Even if I send this file to you, okay, even you can open this file, proof. That means for every item, if I can start keeping the proofs, then I'm sure even after 10 years also, if anyone come back and ask you any question, you can just simply tell him that, okay, boss, this is what the method I have followed. I went into the loans, I have taken the pivot table, then I have found a logic that each account, how many accounts are there and what is the lowest rate of interest based on the spread. I have taken the sample and this is the proof which we have gathered. I told you, right, along with your planning, your working paper should get ready. Okay, so annexure number 3. Which can give you a methodology that whether the proper interest is being fed into the system or not. Now, okay, let's look here. Yeah, there is one more question. Every question you can connect it. Okay, since the time is only for 3 hours, I'll try to connect whatever important to you. When you just start going down, they asked about the delegated authority. Credit facilities having been sanctioned beyond the delegated authority are the limit fixed for the branch. If so, whether those cases promptly reported to the higher authorities? This is the question. Again, very surprisingly and innocently, our staff or we asked directly the branch manager, sir, in the last year, have you sanctioned anything which is above your threshold limit? No. Okay, we asked that and he's going to say no, that is the answer. But why should we need to ask the branch manager when we have a column of the sanction authority in our Excel workbook? I can get the data out of it. But to know what is the sanction authority, whether they have taken with the correct sanction authority or not, I request you prepare a master data once you go to a bank about the sanction authority. So I just hidden one file. So let me unhide the file called sanction authority. Friends, this is the master data I prepared in one of the bank once I stepped into the bank. You can allocate this work to your staff. Once they go to the bank, immediately they'll start making this small type of master data. Once you get this master data, I can go to the loans file, and are you finding your sanction authority, and also are you finding your sanction limit? Let me enter here a column. Let me have fixed by bank. What is the sanction fixed by the bank? That I can't get it, right? I need to write a VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP. Look for the sanction authority. Okay, look into this sanction authority table and get me the second column value as an answer. As you all know, the VLOOKUP function can match the values and get the value from the second table to the first table. Try to understand, look for this value in this table, get me the second column value as an answer. As simple as it. Just copy paste. Once you copy paste it, I'm sure you are going to get in this column what is the limit fixed by the branch, by the bank. Now I'm going to have another column just to identify that these are two are the extra column. Let me change the color. I can simply change the color as well. Yeah. Now let me have whether it is within the limit or beyond the limit. I can simply go here. Okay, yeah, beyond. I can simply write a function if is it equal to if this value is it greater than or equal to this value. Okay, if so, then it's not within the limit. Okay, it is greater than this, not equal to. If sanction limit is greater than the limit fixed by the bank, that means this is beyond the limit. If not, this is within the limit. If not means this is less than or equal to the sanction fixed by the bank. So this is actually the within. Okay, within. Let me write here within. Enter. This is within because though he is having authority to sanction, it's only 5 lakh. Just copy and paste. What I'm going to do, I'll just take it. I'll just filter for beyond. Click OK. You can filter for the current year only. And then you can do it. As of now, this is the annexure. So I can simply copy this. I can just insert another sheet. Then I can just keep it here. This is the annexure number 4. Mentioning that, okay, in all these cases, it is he sanctioned above his authority. Can he sanction? Yes, it doesn't mean he can't sanction. But the question is, are such cases promptly reported to the higher authorities? Then you can take a proof of either mail documentation or any of the document available. You can ask our staff to put besides this as a proof, so that the question for which you are answering here is having some sanctity, right? Otherwise, you simply give here NA, or you can simply ask the branch manager and saying that it's not there. Then you can start putting the same. Okay. In fact, these all are the things are very important to comment because these all may be looked up by central statute auditor. Okay, like this, using the pivot table, you can do n number of stratification. Okay, now let us just go through the loans. Okay, let me rename it as a annexure 4. Annexure 4. Just let me go to this. Friends, when you start looking into these columns, some of the columns can give you a lot of information. In this Excel file of loan balance file, okay, GL code, anyway, we did the analysis. With this column is just giving you whether it's a performing asset or non-performing asset. Then this is the column is having account number, customer name, customer ID. By looking into this customer name, customer ID, account number, is there any analysis I can do in this? Is there any analysis I can do looking into these two columns? Yes, because there is a point in the prudential norm that if one account for a customer becomes NPA, all other accounts has to become NPA. Because the prudential norms are NPA concept is for the customer but not for the facility. Now, what I'm going to do, I'll just take this data, I'll select this data, go to the insert, click pivot table, just click OK. You need not to do anything up there. Now, out of the pivot table fields, concentrate. I will take, okay, the account number. So you can simply take the account number. let me go here and take, or else you can take the customer ID. Let me take the customer ID in the rows. Now let me take the account number in the values. By default, it has taken account. So number of accounts. This is what my title is. By default, it is everywhere one. That means for this particular customer, only one facility is there. For this particular customer, two facilities are there in this case, and so on. Now let me have a filter. Sort data, then you can sort. Once you sort, okay, there is a person who is having 4 facilities. So this analysis is required not only just to know whether is there any one account becomes NPA, all other accounts are NPA or not. That particular case, even 90% system can do it. But my point is, when a person is having more than one account, we need to be more cautious looking into his bank statements, because it is giving an information that there may be a more chance that a partner of the not partner, a person has taken a CC facility, and also the same person has taken the term loan facility. So every month end, the term loan EMI paid by the CC account, or else he just transferring to the term loan account from where he is moving the funds to the other place. Okay, so you must be very careful looking into this. That's the reason at a higher level, analyzing the account statement, this can be helpful. But maybe these 4 accounts put together is less than 1 lakh. Who knows that? That's the reason. Let me take now the outstanding here. Okay, first let me take the GL code, which can give me the count of number of GLs. So it's already given, right? So let me take the outstanding first. So where is the outstanding? This is what the balance outstanding. Let me take here. So the meaning is 4 people are there, 4 accounts are there, though this particular person, but total put together is 4 lakh. I'll not take my part of my sample. Maybe these all 6 accounts will be part of my samples. 10 accounts will be part of my sample. Then though they are having 3 accounts, since the amounts are not very big, I will not concentrate. Maybe these all 3 can be part of my sample. Okay, then I can just slowly go here. These 2 can be part of my sample, and this one also can be part of my sample. Okay, so here overall put together is how many? This is 10 plus 6, 10 plus 9, 19 plus 6. It is 25 samples I have taken in this case. What you need to do with these 25 samples, you need to cross check carefully, okay, about whether is there any intra transactions are there between the bank accounts. For that particular purpose, this is helpful. Also, let me take here a PRNA and put it to the columns. Then your pivot table got increased because extra parameter added, right? I don't want the grand total, so on and off for both. Now what happened? Total number of NPA under this customer ID is 0, but performing assets are 4. Then again, these all are performing assets, but here for this customer, 2 accounts are there, both of NPA. But you know where the issue will come? When this is having a value, this is also having a value, then there will be an issue. That means how can, let's say for example, there is one more value here, 50,000. Okay, if it is allowed, let's say 15,000 if I write, that means this particular customer is already having some amount as an NPA. Then how can the other account can be performing asset? So here the logic is very simple. Either this or this must have a value. Both are not possible, right? Okay, so equal to, let me use if function just to cross check. Cross check, is it not equal to blank? That means there is some value. Also, is it not equal to blank? That means there is some value. That means we need to do, you know what? Okay, let me use the if function here because it's the second question. Okay, so let me just go here. E6 is not equal to blank. If that is the case, if both are not equal to blank, then I'm going to put check. If not, then I am going to put within the limit or ignore. Close. Comma, ignore for the first one. Close. Enter. You can ignore this. Just copy and paste. You all can ignore this because no instance where, have a look. No instance where, in no instance NPA is there as well as PA is there. That's not there. So this is just having a validation control. So I can simply have a control here, whether it is whether we can ignore this or we need to check this. So Let's have a check as a validation control. Okay, so this is the way I can analyze my account number with the account ID. This can be part of account as an Excel file, so that whenever we are trying to look into the bank statement for a particular customer of CC account, immediately, because he's having 4 accounts, immediately we'll ask the same branch manager remaining 3 accounts also. Because when you look this entire data holistically, top level, then you can exactly see how the data is flowing, how the funds are moving from one place to the other place, and so on. Okay, so let me just save this file. Now let us start looking into the other thing. You can even have the control of the portfolio. For example, let me take this data. You can just go here. I'm sorry, I think it's printing. Sorry. Yeah, so let me go to the pivot table. So I'll just go to the pivot table. Right, so go to the next, then have a pivot table. I'll tell you what you need to do. Once you get the loan balance file, stratification, understanding, and knowing the type of the loans are very important. So what I'm going to do now, I will take the loan outstanding in the rows, the same loan outstanding in the values. You may be thinking I'm mad, because Saran, keeping the loans one below other, what you can fetch from that? Don't worry. What I'm going to do, I will just right click here. I'll just right click here. One second. Just right click here. Then you can just click the group. Once you click the group, Excel is smart. Mr. Saran, it is starting from 2,89,11,950, but it ends at 0. Okay. So now I can simply take 1 lakh as a step value. Sorry, this is 10 lakh as a step value. Once I click OK, my entire data got arranged like this. Or else, if you feel 10 lakh is a very lower limit, then let me have 25 lakh. Wow. Right? See, okay, I think I kept it 25 crore. Now let me go to the group. Let me, oh, I need to give minus, is it? Not required. Yeah. This is 25 lakh, is it? No, it's 2.5 crore. Check it out. Now, if I can add the number of accounts also to this pivot table, let me add the number of accounts. Then, see, my analysis is going to be very simple now. Let me have the data here. Let me have A to Z, Z to A. Let me go to the data. Let me sort this. What is the understanding of this? If I do the audit of just 10 accounts, I'm almost completing out of my 33 crore, 14 crore. So this is the Pareto analysis. To do the Pareto analysis, let me make it more simple. Let me take one other bank outstanding. Also, let me take account number one more time here. But Sharon, why you want 2 times the account number? Don't worry. I'm going to move this below the sum, right? Okay, great. Now this is the account number. This is the count. Okay, let me take the count. Let me take a number of accounts, right? This I want to make it as a number of accounts percentage, right? To get the percentage here, what I need to do, right click, then go to summarize values by, then show values as percentage of the grand total. See, I don't want again this. Why should I have another account of outstanding? So what I'm going to do, let me take the sum of this. So I don't want to count, but I want a sum. But even I don't want the sum because it's already here. What I'm going to do, I am going to have the percentage of the grand total. Now this can give you a lot of inferences. If you do the audit of just, okay, 1%, 1.59% of the total advances, that means you are covering the total portfolio of 42.79. I don't think so any branch manager can do the audit of 42.79 as a total strength of material. So if you can just take under these 11 samples, 11 is it? Yeah, 8 samples, then you can do the end-to-end audit. I'm sure no one is going to touch you because you almost covered like 43%. This is one way of doing the stratification. And also the another stratification also you can do it, because many a times, you know, what happen when we are not, many a times what happen, based on the GL code, also we can have a control, because GL code is basically whether it's housing loan or vehicle loan and so on. What I'm going to do, I'll take this out, then let me take the GL code. I can just simply take the GL code. Now you can see based on the GL codes how the percentage got changed. Now if you observe, because here GL type is not there, otherwise I could have explained much better. Because if GL type is there, you'll get to know that okay, personal loans are this, then agri loans are only this, then gold loans are this, then housing loans are this, then and so on. So each and every item will give you what is the meaning of it. Then I'll get to know even before going into the branch what type of audit planning I should have. Okay, so what type of checklist I need to gather? Because I studied in the bank audit, you know, in the month of March, almost like 5 hours with respect to the agriculture loans. Let's say if you go to a branch where agriculture loans are not at all there. So what means my point is some of the things you can learn even stepping into the bank. Okay, so this is one of the way which is giving you the control how the loans being segregated. So this is the 80-20 approach. Now if you see here, only one account is there, very less this one. If now 4 accounts are there, it is there 6 accounts are contributing 5.5%. So I will take more number of accounts out of this, and also you can make a sample out of this, because anyway you have to cover every type of the loan. Because 22 are there, let me take a sample of 3, let me take a sample of 3, let me take 1. You can just start putting the samples here for which you need to do the audit. You can put n number of stratifications, friends. This is the strat of loan data. Okay, so let me keep this at the end. You can just start keeping the pivot tables. That itself will give you a lot of inferences. Friends, let me emphasize a point, a guidance given by the RBI to all the banks before myself going into the further session, because I just would like to show you this. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. Once you start reading this entire thing, you will be having 2 things. One is the satisfaction, because you will be understanding this content. The second one is you will start thinking, what is the fate of chartered accountants? What is this documentation? You know, automation of income recognition, asset classification, provisioning process in banks. We invite reference to our circular so and so dated so and so, in terms of which banks are advised inter alia to have appropriate IT system in place for identification of non-performing asset and the generation of related data returns, both for regulatory reporting and banks' own IMS. This is very important. This is very important. However, it is, however, observed that the processes of NPA identification, income recognition, provisioning, and generation of related returns in many banks are not yet fully automated. Banks are still found to be resorting manual identification of NPA and also overriding the existing system generated as a classification by manual intervention in the routine manner. This is a small proof. We can show it to the branch manager, whoever is saying that Sharon, the entire process of NPA identification, provisioning is automatic. We can say proof that RBI itself is saying still there are places where manual intervention into a routine manner is happening. That means they are going back and doing a change of the date. They are going back and doing a change of interest rate. They are going back and changing the classification. They are going back and changing the provisioning. So it is possible. That is what RBI is saying. Okay. So what RBI is also guiding them, in order to ensure the completeness and integrity of the automated asset classification, provisioning classification, income recognition process, banks are advised to put in place and upgrade their systems to inform the following guidelines by June 30th, 2021. To confirm the following guidelines by June 30th. So what is the meaning of it? By June 30th, every bank is expected to upgrade or put in place the system which can do the entire process automation, right? Let us assume in a positive way that, let's say, banks has taken this guidance very seriously, because if you go to down, they have given even penalty clauses also. That means they are very much serious about this particular process. When banks has given this, sorry, RBI has given this, then banks, I'm sure will do it by June 30th. Once banks confirm to the RBI that, yes, now the entire process is automated, there is no chance of manual intervention. If you go and start looking into this, they are even giving the input also. They want to know who are changing at the back end, what are the exception cases, in case of exception, at what level they can go and change the back end system and so on. Once they are done with that, they must need to do the system audit and they should certify that everything is automated at the back end. Okay, so the exceptions are nothing but exceptions may be granted from the system driven classification in certain circumstances, which are expected to be minimum and temporary. It may be emphasized that these exceptions are formed from automated classification and not from IRAC norms, shall be subject to the conditions as explained below. So they are given the two levels of authority. One is at least the board approval is required, at least by the CEO or the, you can just start looking into this. You'll get to know how serious this document is. If everything automates, let's say by next year, by the time you step into the bank audit, what is the work you need to do there? Because system process got automated. If system process got automated, obviously the result is good. The result is only good when the input is good. If the input itself is wrong, result will be wrong. Now the process defined by the RBI. Now RBI is clearly mentioning this has to be adopted. Once everyone adopts, they build a process. Once they build the process, results will come correctly only if the input is correct. That's the reason RBI in the new LFR making us comfortable to digest that to use the contents called data integrity, data inputs. Have you checked this? Have you seen the ICAI audit report and so on? Soon, I'm sure maybe after a couple of years, they may simply say that, Sharon, if everything is happening in the system, what is your role of doing as an auditor? Then they will appoint you maybe to check the inputs. The questions may get improved more towards the input related because someone has to check it out whether correct input is there or not. See, system can do the NPA classification, but if I go and change the input is wrong, while inputting the data itself, my data sanction is something different, then how can system will process? Obviously, it processes with a mistake because input is wrong. So that's the reason there is. I'm just trying to connect the dots. There is a new LFR in the month of September, and also there is a guidance from the RBI to all the banks about the automation of IRAC. Okay, and also if you look into the new LFR, all the points, most of the points are related to the data security, data integrity, input, process, and so on. That means RBI is expecting much beyond what we are delivering. That is nothing but the process controls. You must need to check it out whether the process controls in the bank, process controls in the branch are good enough. Okay, so whenever you have time, probably just for the academic purpose, you can start reading this document. It is just 6 pages document. Am I going okay? Because I'm not finding any questions or anything. My voice is my voice is okay for everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I'm just going on. I'm surprised whether anyone is hearing or not. Okay. Great, sir. Now I will start looking into the other aspects. Friends, you can just start putting the stratification. So you can just start keeping the annexures. So save it, you can close it. Right now, friends, let me go to the other important file. In fact, that is most important file, how to convert unstructured data into the structured data. Let's go to my raw data. In that you have a file called loan balance file. Though there's a old file, just for the conceptual understanding, you can get it. So let me copy this file, Control C. Let me go to my Excel. You can do Control or N. I want to open new Excel workbook, Control V. It looks like it's spread into the other columns also, but only the values appearing in the other column, but the values belongs to the A column. When this data is there, there is a problem with this data because it is not into the proper columns. I need to segregate the columns. How to segregate the column? Go to the data tab. Okay. Go to the data tab, go to text column. Friends, just give me 1 minute. I'm sorry, just give me 1 minute. Friends, sorry, some urgent call. Yeah, text to column is basically of two types. You'll find two types of text to column files. One is delimited, the other one is fixed width. In this case, it's a fixed width. Basically, the fixed width files are meant for printing. This X file is supposed to be printed on the A4 size paper. Some different file is supposed to be printed on the portrait of A4 size paper, or landscape, or some other file maybe with a size, whatever the size is available. So it meant for printing. So A4 size paper throughout the world having the same width, right? That is a fixed width. So when they want to arrange 10 columns in the A4 size paper, they will fix the number of columns and the width also. So now let me go to the next. You go down. The problem with this type of this text to column pop-up is you can't expand more this one to see the data. Now my habit is always I scroll down till the heading. You can just select the column. Okay, you can see the heading. You can see the data. You can see where you can cut the column. Just click it. Then I want to see the account type. A small tip I would like to give: account number. Numbers are always aligned towards the right side. Text is always aligned towards the left side. So you can just see where to cut here. Either you can put here, or even you can put here same, because it will not go beyond this. In this case also, it will not go beyond this because it's a text. It always looks right side. Okay. So this is account type. Then this is the customer number. Then this is the customer name. Then this is the, this is the limit. Then this is the interest rate. Then you go right side. This is the theoretical balance. Then this is the outstanding balance. Then you can find the irregularity. Then you can find the sanction date. You can find the EMIs due. You can find EMIs paid, EMIs overdue, new IRAC, old IRAC, area condition, a currency, then account maintenance branch, then EMI amount, then irregularity date, unrealized interest, accrued interest. Let me click finish. Friends, once you are done with this, let me just double click. It's not about doing a text to column. Cleanup activity is also very important. Just because I have done the text to column, do you think I can directly work on this data? This data is not helpful to do further analysis. So what I'll be doing, let me just select this and remove till the heading. Many people follow different methods, but I always follow the filter method, which I like most. You can do Control-Shift-Enter is the shortcut, so that it will select from the first cell what you have selected till the last used cell. You can use the filter. So I just went here, I just kept the filter. Then you can go to the top, right? Now you go to the A1 cell. Now, see, I'm very much sure that in the A column, only numbers must be there. Okay, that's nothing but an account number. Other than account number, I can say that is a junk row. Yes or no? So what I'll be doing, I'll just select this, select all, come to the end, then you can just select this. All these things you can select, because I want to display the junk data so that I can delete the junk data. So you can just select this entirely is the scrap. So till here I have taken because it's a account number. So below account number is the junk data. Click OK. This entire data I don't want. So keep the cursor in the A2 cell, Control-Shift and Control-. So Control- is the shortcut to delete the sheet. It's asking a pop-up, do you want to delete the entire sheet? You can click OK, because I don't want the entire row. So let me unfilter. So let me do the auto fit. I'm just doing a small formatting related. Okay. Now this is your proper file to work on. Okay. The same custom loan balance file. Earlier one I have taken from the FlexiCube. This is from, sorry, earlier file, whatever I have shown you is from the Finacle. This is from the FlexiCube. Sorry, this is from the Banks 24, SBI. In this, you have limit, you have interest rate, you have PO balance, outstanding, irregularity, and so on. You can just start looking into the columns, then you can identify what type of analysis you can do. Is there any way I can do the analysis with respect to the customer name? Yes. What type of analysis? Customer name is also very important. When you have the constitution, okay, for example, one firm is having one partnership firm is having a facility in the branch of 3 crore. When I started looking into the partners, there are 4 partners. You know what I can do? I can go to the customer name column. I can search with the partner name. I found 2 partners also having the facility in the same bank. One person has taken the term loan. Sorry, one person has taken the house loan. The other partner has taken the personal loan. Now, these are all 3 accounts together. I have to see to do the analysis. Then I just taken the account statement of the CC account, what the firm is having. Then I started looking into the amounts. Every month, the CC account is paying the EMIs to both the partners. Okay. That means it's a fund diversion, or else a big amount moved from one partner, CC account to the partner account. From partner account, it went to some other different accounts. It is a clear-cut case of fund diversion. So you can comment into the LFR that let's say out of 10 cases, if you find 5 cases, you can even put into the audit report also as a qualification, because whether what to keep in the audit report as a qualification is purely the professional judgment. Sir, I'm keeping 10 remarks in the LFR. Is it mean can I keep all those 10 items as a qualification in the audit report? My answer is no. What you need to keep it into the qualification is purely your professional judgment. Let's say I found for 3 vehicle loans, car key is not available. Then maybe you can put that as a point in your LFR wherever they ask about that particular question. But you know, in the other way, in other case, where there is a quick renewal happened, when in the quick renewal, what they have done, quick review or renewal, whatever the call we call. In the system, there is a date, but when we asked about the documentation, no documentation is there. Let's say out of the accounts we reviewed, almost like 6 to 7% of the accounts having the same deficiencies. Then, if I am into your position, probably I may put this into the audit qualification. It is purely the professional judgment. Okay. So when customer name is there, you can even start searching for the director name of a company if the company is having a facility in this bank. You can just start looking into many things. Customer name is very much helpful. Then if you look here, this is the limit, this is the interest rate, this is the theoretical balance. What is theoretical balance? Can anyone tell? It's going to be very simple. Theoretical balance is a balance calculated by the system. Theoretical balance means the ideal balance. Let's say if customer pays the amount every time on date, then whatever the balance, that balance is nothing but a theo balance. That means it's the ideal thing. As if everything is going well, what must be the balance as on date? Outstanding is the actual outstanding. This is nothing but the ledger account balance of the customer. Okay. Now, there are only 3 situations. Theo balance can be more than the outstanding. What is the meaning of it? When in what cases Theo balance is more than the outstanding? That means the customer is prepaying the amount. He paid much in advance than required. In those cases, obviously ledger balance is less than the Theo balance. The second case where Theo balance is equal to the outstanding. What is the meaning of it? Customer is paying the EMI exactly on the due date. So every time he's paying on time. So these 2 cases, there's no problem because account is regular.
the third case where outstanding is more than the Theo balance. If that is the case, I can say that, okay, this account is irregular. Is it directly? No. You can't even say that this account may be irregular, but we can't say it's an NPA. First of all, let us try to check it out. What is the irregularity? I can simply use a if function. If Theo balance is less than outstanding, then I want outstanding minus Theo balance. If not, 0. I hope this is fine, right? What is this? Excel, could you please cross check whether Theo is less than the outstanding? That means outstanding is more. There is an overdue. If the case is there, then please give me the difference of outstanding minus Theo balance. Otherwise, take 0. In this case, both are matching, no problem. In this case, actually outstanding is less, still no problem because he paid much more in advance. Copy and paste. This is the column. Even your file is having, that's an irregularity. So this is irregularity calculated by the auditor. This is the irregularity created by the system. Validation controls are very important. What I'll be doing, I will just go here, minus, I'll just go here. I'll check it out whether system calculated irregularity or I myself calculated irregularity, is there any difference? If you check here, there is no difference. That is the way you can use these two columns. Now this and this are nothing but the formulas which I entered. Okay, it looks a little odd. So let me just go here. Let me change some light color. Okay. Now friends, now how can this irregularity amount is helpful is the question. Now I can call it as a irregularity periods, right? Can I simply say because 280 is outstanding more, this is NPA? No. Since how long it is NPA is the question. So let me open you one document which I have prepared just for the quick reference. Yeah, let the file open. Yeah. This basic IRAC norms with respect to the NPA, in case of term loan, interest and our principal installment remaining overdue for a period of more than 90 days. Even if 90 days, no. In respect of a term loan. In other way around, it's 3 installment, right? So what I'll be doing, this is what the difference between your Theo balance, between your outstanding and Theo balance. Now I'll be dividing this with 3. Sorry, dividing this with EMI. This is the EMI. Now what happened? Whatever the irregularity amount, I divide with the EMI. Nothing came. In this case, it is just rate very less. It is 0.39. Let me just copy and paste. What is the meaning of it? Now what I'll be doing, I will just filter everything greater than 3. Okay, what is the meaning of this? Can you interpret this? Very simple. My Theo balance, ideally as on today, his balance must be 28,255. But actual outstanding is 47,727. There is a 19,472 irregularity amount. Now let us see what is the EMI. The EMI is 1,700 rupees. Sorry. EMI is 5,016 rupees. Let's say first EMI has not paid. Ideally 5,016 must be your overdue. Let's say second installment also he did not pay. That means 10,032 must be your overdue. Let's say third installment also he did not. Then 15,048 is the one. Okay, must be your due. Third one also not done. This is that case. So above 15,000 is my irregularity. So these all are the cases I'm going to check. See, 19,000 is above 3 EMIs. This value is much excess than 3 EMIs. That means this 19,000 including 3 EMIs. Yes. So that's the reason I will calculate irregular periods. If everything is above this, then I'm going to take it as an NPA. First, let me have a VLOOKUP function. First, you need to have a VLOOKUP function to this loan balance file. If these are already part of your NPA, that's fine. If not, you need to ask the question why. Then you need to go into the system. If once you go into the system, still if it is an NPA, then you need to disclose, as simple as it. Okay. But many a times we focus only on greater than. If it is greater than 3, that's fine. If it is less than 3, less than or equal to 3, okay. Then what is the meaning of it? Now you do one thing. You have a filter. I want to have a filter custom filter. I want to know greater than 0, less than or equal to 1. Can anyone tell what is the meaning of it? This, it's not full one period you did not pay. Okay, in this case, exactly 1 period. In this case, exactly 1 period. That means the overdue is between 0 to 30 days. Ideally, if you go and check it out, let me open and show you the new LFR just for the point to understand SMA, right? Yeah. There are many questions with respect to the classification this time. If you start looking into this question, there's a question whether the branch is following the system classifying the account into, whether the branch is following the system of classifying the account into SMA 0, SMA 1 and SMA 2. Whether the auditor disagree with the branch classification of advances into the standard, substandard, doubtful. Friends, normally what answer we keep for this question? What answer you gonna keep for this question? We'll simply put, we'll just check it out SMA report, but they're asking, how can you know that there is a system to classify this account as an SMA? For those things, these all are the validation approach. What is the meaning of it? It is between 0 to 1. That means this amount is little more comparatively to the EMI. That means this is irregular for a period of 0 to 30 days. In between, irregularity is there. This must be part of my SMA 0. As you all know, SMA 0 is from 0 to 30. So SMA 0 is 0 to 30 days. Then SMA 1 is 30 to 60 days. SMA 2 is 61 to 90 days. This is 31 to 60 days. 60 days of either overdue or out of order continuously. In this case, it's an overdue, right? Then you check it out this, whether it is a part of SMA 0. If not, you can ask the question why. But if still it's not there in the SMA 0, maybe you can answer in this question. It seems there is no system of classifying the account into SMA 0, SMA 1, SMA 2. Because during our audit, the following accounts, though it is overdue for a period of 30 to 60 days or 0 to 30 days, but still it's not part of the SMA 0 total report. Simple. That's the way, you can validate this. Now, for example, friends, now I can just take the here. Now I can take the same custom filter. Now I'll put here 1, I'll put here 2. That means this must be part of my SMA 2. Then when I just go here, I can just go to the custom filter. This is going to be 2, this is going to be 3. This must be my SMA 2. Most focus you need to keep here, because SMA 2 means it is maybe very soon it may slip into the NPA. So you must be very careful looking into the SMA 2 related reports. So let me save this file as the analysis of loan balance file. Right? Yeah. So let me do this. Yes. Wow. Now let us see what other columns are there. So this is the way I can use this. But let me tell you, friends, in MS Excel, couple of important functions are helpful to you in the bank audit. You know what are those functions? Financial functions. I'll just give you the quick list of financial functions which may be helpful. Maybe before going into the bank audit, you can go through that. PMT is one of the very important function. PV is the other important function. Rate, then NPER. Then one more function called IPMT. IPMT, the other function called PPMT, the other function called CUMIPMT, then the other function called CUMPRINC. These all 4 plus 4, 8 functions are helpful to you to do the bank audit, especially in case of term loans. PMT function calculates the equated installment. PV function calculates the present value. Rate function calculates the rate of interest. NPR, number of periods, it calculates the number of periods. You know the beauty part of all these four functions? If you want to work with, if you want to write PMT function, remaining three are the parameters. If you want to write a PV function, remaining three are the parameters. If you want to take rate function, remaining three are parameters. If you want to take NPR function, remaining three are the parameters. Check it out. PMT. See, rate is the parameter, NPR is the parameter, PV is the parameter. Let me take rate function. NPR is the parameter, PMT is the parameter, present value is the parameter. Let me take PV. Same. Rate is a parameter, NPR, PMT. The last one, NPR. Rate, PMT, PV. See, these all are four, depends on other. These all four functions are there, but for that particular function, remaining three are the feed. IPMT is basically, it calculates the interest portion of nth period. This calculates the interest portion of, sorry, principal portion of nth period. This calculates the cumulative interest portion, from X period to Y period. Right? This exactly does the same, but it's gonna be the principal portion. Okay, so before going into the bank audit, my suggestion, you can go through these functions. You can make it these functions handy, because theoretical balance I have created, it's already there in the file. Maybe in some CBS it may not be there, but it may not be there, but they might have given you the total number of EMIs, then rate of interest, I'm sure, sanctioned amount, I'm sure, number of periods, I'm sure. If that is the case, okay, you are in a position to calculate on your own. But to calculate that, you must need to have all these functions handy, as simple as it. Now what I'll be doing, I will also recommend you to keep a file called EMI Calc. I have given you already in the folder, there is a EMI calculator. This type of file, keeping it handy in the bank audit is always helpful, because preparing the EMI there in the bank and calculate with the calculator will take a lot of time. So if you make this template handy, then I can just simply take my present value, I can simply take my rate of interest, I can simply take my number of periods, so automatically it calculates. If you observe this file, it automatically expands. Now I want to know till 80 periods. Let's say my total number of periods are 80, it automatically expands. It's 75, or else my total number of periods are 78, or else my total number of periods are 60, and so on. So now you take it out till 60 only, the numbers came. So this is a dynamic EMI table. Once you change your 10 lakh 85,000 is my sanctioned amount, 6.5% is my rate of interest, number of periods are 240 for 20 years. This is the way it calculates the outstanding interest, principal, and so on. This is very much helpful. Okay, now, but every time instead you need to send across to them. Even once you send across to them, let them save this as a template. You know, in MS Excel there are different file extensions are there, XLSX, XLTX, and so on. Let me put F12. Okay, once I keep F12, by default it's stored in XLSX, right? I take this into XLTX. Once you take this into XLTX, by default it will take you to a folder where all the files are there of templates. You can just click this, click OK. Since already it's there, let it replace. Now let me save, close. Right now, if I open a file, I need not to go anywhere to get the EMI calc. I can simply go to the file tab, go to the new, then you can have personal. These are the Microsoft pre-formatted templates. I can just go here to the personal, then I can, in the personal, I'm sure you can find many templates which created by me. Double click this and find the EMI calculator. But for your information, this EMI calculator type, workbook name is EMI Calc 1. That means this is independently than what we find in the template. That means it creates separate Excel file for you and open. So template is there till you are using in that computer. Whenever you open an Excel file, that template by default is there at the backend. In my office, couple of templates we are very keen to. So if I go to the file tab, if I go to the new, then I'm finding here there's a template called financial statements, right? Once you double click this, I got this is a template where this is the first page, trial balance, balance sheet, P&L, cash flow statement, balance sheet related schedule, share capital, then other schedules, then P&L schedules, fixed assets, adjustment JE, others two. I am very rigid with respect to this format because I want all my staff has to use the same format for every client. Because these days, once we give the work to the article student preparing the financial statements, they insert 20-30 sheets. We need to search where is balance sheet, where is P&L. Okay, so in this case, there is no question. They can move the sheet, copy the sheet, hide the sheet, unhide the sheet, rename the sheet, nothing. They can't even insert the sheet, delete the sheet, because along with this format, we keep the protection. I can go to the review tab, I can click protect workbook and give the password and confirm the password. User cannot insert any of the sheet. Are you finding here? It got disabled? Yes. Delete, rename, move or copy, tap, nothing. User can't do anything. But can he write something here? Yes, because the method which I've shown you is with respect to the sheets, but not with respect to the cells. That means user cannot do any structural change to the workbook. Structural changes means a change with respect to a sheet. So since he can't change it, so obviously this format is stable. Friends, consistency is the most important. If we have a consistency, I'm sure we can be treated as a at least presentation side big form. Okay, so these type of templates are always handy. My only point is with respect to the EMI Calc, you can just start preparing this type of template so that at the time of audit, this will be very simple for you, so that these all details you can just enter. Automatically a calendar will come, then you'll get to know what is the date, whether it's how many EMIs are due. Then if it is a 40th EMI, this must be the ideal theoretical balance. Okay. So if after 39 periods, this is going to be the theoretical balance, this is going to be the theoretical balance, and so on, as simple as it. Okay, let me save this file and close. Yeah, this is already there in the folder, that's fine. Yeah, I hope I am not sure how many questions are till now opened. Can we take quickly for 3 to 4 minutes question and answer, then we can go to the other 2 to 3 topics which I would like to share. Anyone? Because the biggest problem with the virtual is we just keep on going. If no one responds, we feel like, okay, whether it's going inside or not. Sir, I hope my session is okay. Going on. Is there?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Any questions, sir, from the participants? Can we take some 2 to 3 minutes question and answer, or directly maybe at the end of the session? Anything is fine with me. Anything is fine with me. Till now, if any question is there, I can take up for 2 to 3 minutes. If not, we can continue. Anyone? Okay, I presume there are no questions. Okay, fine. So now let us look into this loan balance, because we are doing little analysis with respect to the loan balance file. Okay, so let me open this file. Now, friends, this is my file. If you look into these columns further, you'll have the check, you have the sanction date, you have the EMIs due, this is paid, this is overdue, right? This is new IRAC, old IRAC, arrear condition. Friends, this is basically the SBI file, but all the files having the same type of nature. Arrear condition, these type of words you need to understand, because maybe this column is very much helpful If we don't understand, we ignore this column. If we ignore this column, then maybe tomorrow if we get any problem with the file, maybe this column may help out. Okay, that point of time realizing is not at all the case. So we need to realize whenever we get the file, and we should understand the meaning of each and every column, so that this column may be helpful to do further analysis. See, in this case, let me open a file from the SBI. I've already shared this file with you. I think I already opened this file. No, let me open a file called NPA related process. Yeah, at SBI. I like the way they kept the documentation, everything. Check it out. In case of banks 24, this is the risk grade they have allocated. 0 is standard asset, 1 is SMA 0 basically, 2 is SMA 1 basically, 3 is SMA 3 basic, SMA 2 basically, 4 is the substandard, 5 is doubtful, and so on. Okay, these codes are for their internal codes. What happened, you know? Various conditions make a loan account slip from status of standard are tracked in the banks 24. These are called as the arrear conditions. So arrear condition is very important. If you go down, they have given arrear conditions so many. If you just check it out here, almost like 2.5 pages, they have given the arrear conditions. What is the meaning of it? 501 means at the back end in the system, EMI overdue, 7 to 29 days. 504 means EMI overdue, 1 EMI. This is 2 EMI. This is 3 EMI. This is interest not served within 7 days, and so on. Now I made this entirely into the proper Excel. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm just trying to make small tools for the chartered accountants. I made a small tool here. This is a small tool. Okay, I can just go to the macros. I can take the separate macro to give the master tables of SBI. Right, I'm talking about this. Let me copy this and paste besides this, so that this can be very much helpful to you for the analysis. Now friends, concentrate friends. Now I will put one column here. Okay, because I know what is the meaning of arrear condition now. I got all the arrear conditions mentioned in the bank. Okay, now I can simply have arrear description, right? Now I just use a VLOOKUP function, VLOOKUP, look for this value where within this table, and you can get me the second column value as an answer. Everyone please concentrate. Look for this value in this table. I kept a dollar symbol because I don't want this table to move down. Then get the second column value as an answer. Simple VLOOKUP function. Since 0 is not there, it has not given any value. Just copy paste. Wow. And I don't want this not applicable should come. So what I can do, I can simply put if function, if error, if this entire result is an error, please give me arrear condition not available. Arrear condition not available. Or else simply not available. Text. Wow. It's fine. Now you can just go here. You can just make a pivot table on this. What I'll be doing, I can take my irregularity, I can take my arrear condition description, keep in the rows. Then I'll take my outstanding amount. I can just take the outstanding amount. I can also take how many accounts are outstanding. So I can take account numbers. So let me count. So I want always the count of number of accounts, so that I can just define decide the materiality when we want to work on. So this is fine. This is gonna be the sum. This is gonna be this one. So you can just have these are number of accounts. This is outstanding. Okay, these all are the arrear conditions. Try to understand. Because it's not available, so why it is not available we must understand, because majority of the portion out of all the accounts, why it is not available we must understand, because as per their material, when I read here, every account must create arrear condition if it is overdue. Is it that these all are not overdue accounts? That means these all are within the due. Okay, overdue is not even 1 day. Okay, That may be the case. Now, if you observe, this must be into my SMA, okay, SMA 1 report because it's greater than 1 EMI. SMA 1 report. This must be in the SMA 2 report. This must be substandard because greater than 3 EMIs. This is doubtful. This is also doubtful. This is SMA 0. Irregularity 7 to 29 days. Again SMA 0. Then it's greater than 60 days. Greater than 60 days is SMA 1. So let me put, sorry, greater than 60, SMA 2. Then this is substandard. This is SMA 0 report. Then this is also SMA 0 report. Then substandard. Then this is SMA 1 report. Then this is a loss asset because security is greater than 90%. Substandard. This is reason to know. We'll check sample at the back end whether it is really within the order or not even overdue for more than 7 days, then it can be part of this. That means now you can verify every item of this with the SMA 1 report, 2 report, doubtful, substandard, and so on. Friends, let me tell you, if you know the columns properly, the data, what you are getting, those columns can give you a lot of information. Once you get that information, your analysis scope will be going much beyond. Okay, so that's a way you can just work on this particular one. Let me save this file and let me close this file. Let me close this file. Save. Yeah. Now I'll do a stratification of another file type. In fact, the most important file type is nothing but the CCDP file. In the Andhra Bank, we got BR12Y. The file name is called. In the SBI, we call it as a CCDP. In other banks, with the different names are there, but you will be having definitely one file having 30 to 40 columns. If that is the case, how can you work on this? If that is the case, how can you work on this file? Now, Control A, Control C, I can just go to my Excel. I can do Control V. Can I do directly text to column? No, because this is not like a regular file. What is the problem with this file? Can anyone identify? In a regular file, each row is talking about one account. In this case, one account is running into 6 rows because first row is having 5 columns, second row is having from 5th column to 10th column, then I have 15th column, 20 columns, 25, 30 columns. 30 columns it has arranged one below other. Because as I already told you, right, it's a fixed width file. That means it is meant to fit into a A4 size paper. So when you are trying to fit into A4 size paper, you can't keep these many number of characters. So that's the reason they split the way the account should appear. But don't worry, I am here to help you out. As I already told you, in these cases, my first point is I will remove everything till the heading so that my heading will be on top so that I can analyze this. Now equal to, now I want to take this because I want to join all the 6 items together. To join in MS Excel, there is a function called concat, there is a function called text join, there is a function called concatenate, or and symbol is there. If you want to use the text join, you must need to use the latest version of Microsoft 365. If you want to use the concat function, you must need to have 2019 version. You want to use concatenate, that is there since long. Okay. Concatenate is outdated because of concat and text join in the latest version. But avoiding all, let me use another simple thing is an and symbol. Select this and 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 select this, right? So now these all 6 items came one after other. Take it out. Wow. Now the formula, this is the place where I have written. Just for the identification, I colored yellow. Now let me keep the cursor here, Control Shift End. You can just put the filter. Once you keep the filter, now what is important, I want to apply the same formula in the first row of every place. Apply the same formula in the first row of every place. Okay, so that if I copy this formula and paste here, because the nature is relative reference, so it was taken 6 values from the left side. Here also it will take 6 values from the left side. When I copy this, here also it will take 6 values from the left side. But you can't copy paste every cell, right? That's the reason what I need to do. Let me first highlight or filter only the first row of every account. How can I filter the first row of every account? For that, I need to know what is the uniqueness of the first row. So I can just select this, copy, because account number with this symbol is the unique one. So the one is important. One is there everywhere in the first row. This symbol space 1. So let me do Control C. Or else you can just go here, filter here. I can just go to the text filter. It contain, okay, type symbol that is above your enter key, space 1. Once you enter, all the first rows of the account got selected. Now, already the formula is here. Let me copy and paste. Copy and paste. Now, this data you copy. Now you go here. You paste this data. Once I paste this data, do you think I can do the analysis on this? No. You must need to do the text to column. Then I can just do the text to column, go to the text column. Then this is not a fixed rate, it's a delimited. Go to the next. Then it's others. I want to have a pipe symbol so that wherever that symbol is there, it's going to segregate. The next, then finish. Check it out. This is the way I can do the text column. Now you can analyze this data. This is the most important data where 35 columns are there. I can just simply go here. This having the DP, this having the limit, interest rate, outstanding, what is the security type, last stock statement C. Based on this, I can answer my questions. If you look into the LFR, there are questions. They were talking about the data integrity. So let's take here. Yes. There is a question. See, I surprised how we can answer this question. Whether the bank has laid down the procedures for manual intervention to system generated data and proper authentication of the related transactions arising these from along with the proper audit trail of manual intervention has been obtained. What is the meaning of it? Normally, whoever a chartered accountant having limited knowledge with respect to the technology cannot answer this question. Okay, they just simply need to do yes, no, that's all. This question is relating to the NPA process automation, what I have shown you earlier. Whether the bank has laid down the procedures for manual intervention to system generated data and proper authentication of related transactions arising from those along with the proper audit trail of manual intervention has been obtained. Check out how technically this question is. If you don't have a knowledge, obviously you can make it no or not applicable. And also furnish your comments on data integrity, including the data entry, checking the correctness, integrity of the data, no backend strategies, etc., which is used for MIS or HO. Friends, I have a file which I found. In that one column is there called last stock statement, credit rating, or else last stock date. But majority of the cases, this column doesn't have a meaning. That means, can I comment considering this as a LFR point? Of course, because they are saying furnish your comments on the data integrity, including the data entry. See, data entry, if it is not correct, so obviously the process will not correct. The arrear condition, it can't take it correctly. If it is not taking arrear condition, so it is obvious that it will not slip into the NPA, as simple as it. So the question which I'm going to answer for this, connecting this, right? You can even comment that there is no credit rating. Credit rating is also important because they also ask this question, credit, right? Not this one, credit rating. Yeah, check it out. Check it out this. Whether correct and valid credit rating is available. If available, whether correct and valid credit rating, if available, of the credit facilities of borrowers from RBI accredited credit rating agencies has been fed into the system. If available, you need to check whether the agency is accredited with RBI. That's the first thing. Second thing is whether the credit rating available is fed into the system or not. So in this entire workbook, if I filter for only one account, there is a credit rating of SB4. That means, do you think the other account doesn't have any credit rating? Maybe yes, they might have even submitted with the branch, but they have not included this into the data. See, if user can put all these fields properly every time, then system will definitely calculate NPA. What is wrong in that? Because as simple as it, a GIGO technique. Good information inside will give you the good result. Bad information inside will give you the bad result. Simple process is same. So I'm going to comment these all questions based on the values which I'm finding here. You will not have the insurance amount. Okay, so they did not enter many values here, but anyway, you can just start looking into this file. It has given you the interest rate, limit, DP, outstanding, and so on. Okay, I think in this case, how I'm going to identify, equal to, I'll just use a function minimum of this, comma this, right? Then I'll cross check, is it greater than or equal to this actual outstanding? If it is okay, fine. If not, then the question. Okay, so it's greater than this. False. So let's take it out 2 cases. Now let me filter. All are false. That means it's fine. So within the due. Okay, this is the cooked up data, so you may find sometimes correct or wrong and so on. Friends, one more question. I want to remove this one space. One space is actually a column number. How to remove that? Generally, people will make it manual. You can go to the text to column, then go to the fixed weight, then go to the next, then take 2 columns here, take 2 columns, then click next, click finish. But if you are trying to click finish, there is already data is here, do you want to replace? So don't do that mistake. Now let me do the process again, fixed weight, go to the next, keep the cursor here, go to the next. Then I don't want this column must appear. So you can simply select don't import column. Do not import the column. Once you click finish, it has only taken this. But friends, every time I need to do this text to column for 30 times, no. Using small things in Excel can save you a lot of time. Do you know in Excel there's a feature called macros? What I can simply do, I'll just record a macro stating that text to column. Okay, then I can use a shortcut called Control-Shift-Q, enter. What I'm going to do now, I'll go to the text to column, I'll go to the fixed weight, go to the next. Now macro is recording. This is an indication. If you keep the cursor here, you'll find that macro is recording. Then go to the next one, then go to next, then select this, don't import this column, click finish. Wow. Now you simply go and stop recording. Done. Now what happened? There is a recording at the back end for which I have given it macro shortcuts, Control-Shift-Q. If I do Control-Shift-Q, do you think it works? Yes. Oh my God, I think, do you want to hide your WebEx controls? Control-Shift-Q is a WebEx, it is showing. Oh my God, okay. So I think, let me change the control of my macro. I think I've taken it wrong. Let me go to edit. Oops, it has taken into this. I'm sorry. I don't want to go here. Let's go to the developer, because when I'm trying to do Control-Shift-Q, that is a WebEx shortcut. WebEx is saying something. Do you want to control something? Let's go here. Let me go to options, not this one. Let me go to text to column. Now I'll just give an Q. Instead of Q, let me put E. Let me put R. Okay. Now close. Now when I do Control-Shift-R, this macro has to work. So let's go here.
Okay, so you can use that shortcut. Otherwise, you just go to the developer, click this. Okay, go to the developer. You can just click the macros, text to column, then click run. Wow, it worked. Just go here, then again go to the developer, then go to the macros, then select this second one, then you can just click run. Simple. If in this case it has to come properly, what you are going to do? You're going to replace wherever backward slash is there with hyphen, so it comes into basic format. See how you prepare the data. That is most important. Once you prepare the data, how are you going to analyze the data? That's the second most important. Once you analyze the data, based on the analysis, how you are connecting to the LFM, that is the third important. Once you go into this flow, your working papers will get ready. For every question, you have a backup, and also for every question, you have a proper answer to put in the LFR. Otherwise, our generic answers like NA, yes, no, not applicable. This is the way the CCDP file can be converted into the text column. Then you can just start looking into these columns. This has given a lot of information. What is the security value, collateral security value, tangible security, insurance amount, and so on. So as I already mentioned, if they put proper data, then obviously I can do the filters and I can find a lot of information out of it. If they don't keep the data itself, then for me it's very difficult to calculate from this data. Then I need to go into the system and I should verify. Okay, so this is one file. Let me save it and close it. So this is CCDP analysis. Then just go into my working files, CBS Environment, yeah, save it. Because macro is there, it's asking me to save in the macro enable file. Okay, we'll take the last case study for today's session. In case of ledger account, if you find, what is the method through which you can find the out of orders number of days? Of course, taking a print of it and looking into the statement, that takes a lot of time. I know that. What is the other method? What I'm doing, there's the bank statement. Then I'll take one more column here. Let me take I know that the loan sanctioned during the year, so I'll just take the same date, then equal to this plus 1. So that next day will come, I'll just copy paste till 31st March 2021. Hey, what happened? I'm sorry. I think I should only take this and I should drag. Yeah. Right now you take it out. Okay. Copy paste below. Further copy paste below. Yeah. Check it out. Every day I've taken. Every day of the year. If loan sanctioned in the previous year, you better take from 1st April 2020. In this case, because loan sanctioned in the same year, I've taken from here. Now, friends, I'll just go here, keep my cursor. Let me introduce you an unexplored feature of MS Excel called Consolidate. Many people doesn't know that there's a feature called Consolidate. Go to here. Let me keep the cursor here. It's already there. Let me delete this. Yeah. Now, let me keep the cursor here. I want to consolidate 2 data sets here. One is, let me select this data, including the heading, add in the memory. Then let me keep the cursor here, select this data, add in the memory. There are 2 data sets. This is my first data set. This is my second data set. Before enabling any option, let me tell you what is the meaning of consolidate feature. Consolidate feature, look into the same data set. If any rows are repeating, it's going to total. Columns are repeating, it's going to total. Also, it looks into the other data set. In the same combination, whether any left column or top row is matching, those values it's going to console and give me the final result. Now, in this case, there are 3 check boxes. Let me select the first one, top row, second one, left column. Then you can leave it, just click OK. So that I got the consolidation here. I got the final consolidated data. Don't worry, this looks like a number, but actually it's a text. Sorry, it's a date. You can go here, convert it to the short date. Now what I'll be doing, I'll just take your date. Let me just take this date, copy this, paste here. These all are debit and credit, copy and paste. Wonderful. What I have done, I did nothing except conversion of my account statement into the calendar statement.
The advantage of this is you can count the number of days very easily, right? Now let me have the closing balance. Okay, so let me have the closing balance equal to this minus this, then above cell plus this minus this, then you can simply copy and paste. Just copy and paste. This is the closing balance of every day. Now I want to know whether first of all it is within the limit or not. Equal to, if cross check, is it greater than, that's a 5 crore is the limit. Is it greater than 5 crore? If yes, above cell plus 1. If not, 0. Try to understand. If this is greater than 5 crore, above cell plus 1, if not 0. Why I kept this, enter, you'll get to know. This is not greater than 5 crore, so it's 0. This is not greater than 5 crore, 0. This is not greater than 5 crore, 0. When I put enter, since it is greater than 5 crore, above cell plus 1 is 1. If it is greater than 5 lakh, above cell plus 1 is 2. Just copy paste. Wow. This is nothing but you're out of order. Now what I can do while just going through down, I got to know that there is a overdue more than for 42 days. After 42 days, there is a credit into the system. Then again, within 2 days, they have withdrawn. Right? Then again, it became out of order. And if you go here till 42, till again 42 days, it is out of order. Probably I can just take this and I can just select the data like this. You can do the analysis on this data because, see, in this case, it may not be NPA, but you can look into the account and you can analyze the account in such a way that why in this particular CC account there are no transactions. Though there may be a condition at the time of sanction that all the business transaction has to flow from the same account. Many a times, when you ask the branch manager the print of the account statement, the way how he is taking the print itself, we can identify the red flag. Sometimes when you ask the account statement 1 year, he will simply take 2 papers, he will get 2 papers out of it. How can a CC account for a year having only 2 pages? That itself is an evidence that no transactions are happening. As simple as it. Okay. So this is a way to analyze the account statement to know the out of order. Let me close this. Right? Any questions in here? Any question? Yes, sir. I can just stop here. I thought of covering. I just covered whatever I thought of covering. If you guys having any question, probably we can take it further. Any specific function or feature or anything. Are there anyone in the session? Yeah. So I'm just stopping here my session. We can go for a question and answer. Hi Ranjit, how are you? Based on Office 365. So if any one of you open that file, you may find a name error. So what I'll be doing, I'll share the screen because those are 3 to 4 functions are very important. Let me take an Excel file. Yeah, let me open the Excel file. Friends, let me prepare a quick EMI table, which may be helpful at the time of bank audit. A loan, you can take it some X value. Let me just go here and yeah. Loan, you can take some, let's say 10 lakh. Then you can just take rate of interest. Rate is, let's say 10.5%. Then I can take the number of periods, let's say 10 years. Okay, so let's say 15 years. This is a term loan. 15 years. Then let me keep comma format. Yeah. So I want to first know the period. So the periods must be from 1, 2, 3, how many periods? 15 years into 12. 15 into 12 is how much? So this into 12, it's going to be 180. So what I'll be doing, I'll just drag this data till 180. So let me just drag it till 180. Okay, so let me delete it here. These all are 180. Now I'm going to have the EMI. How to calculate EMI? They have a function called PMT. Just take rate divided by 12. So let me put a 4 because I don't want this value to go down. Divided by 12, comma, the number of periods, this are the number of periods into 12 because these are in years. I want to keep it into months because it's going to be the EMI. Then present value is this. Then you take this. Present value is nothing but the loan. Since present value is positive, so every month the loan amount will go out of your pocket. It's a negative. The EMI is going to be negative. Otherwise, if you take the present value as a negative, the EMI will be positive. So enter is a negative. Just to avoid the confusion, I'll start my formula with minus symbol so that positive value will come. Just copy and paste. Don't surprise why the answer is same because it's a EMI. EMI means same value for all the periods. Now I'm going to use a function called interest. Okay, I want to get the interest portion out of this. How to get the interest portion out of this? It's very simple. There is a function in Excel called IPMT, interest payment. What I'll be doing, I'll just take the rate F4 divided by 12, comma. What is the next argument? Period. For which period you want to get the interest for this period, comma. Next argument, number of periods. How many total number of periods? This into 12, comma. What is the present value? That means the loan, this one. Let me put F4, close bracket. Check it out. This is the rate. For this period, I want to get it. If you observe only for A5, I did not give the dollar symbol because I want it has to move down. But when it comes to D1 or F1 or B1, I have given dollar because even if I copy paste, I don't want to move that. So again, because it's a interest portion in the EMI, it's a negative, just to avoid the confusion. I kept minus before the formula. This is your interest. Principally, either you can do that minus this, okay. Otherwise, you can just take the same formula what you have written, but simply you can make instead of I, you can just put it P. Copy paste, right? So this is the principle. Just to check whether this is correct or wrong, what I'm going to do, this minus this minus this, enter, copy and paste. Wow. Now what I'll be doing, I just want to have outstanding, right? Outstanding at the 0 period gonna be everything. So this is gonna be the outstanding. So at 1 period, 1 is actually this minus this, right? So you can, sorry, this, right? Second one, this minus this, you can simply copy and paste. Okay, so at the end, it has to be 0. This is basically the way we calculate. This is nothing but the TO balance for a particular loan account. Now you need to compare with the actual balance. Now you can take this into the next level. Now let's say I want to know the sanction date is, let's say, just for the assumption that 1st April 2019, 2018, right? I want to know the due date. Okay, so first EMI due is when this is the first date. Okay, this is my first date. So due of the first EMI is next month first date. So how to get the next month first date or else this month end? So what I'll be doing, I'll just go here. I will use a function called EO month because it's going to give the end of the month from this date. So F4, yeah. So from this date F4, comma, how many months I want to add? 0 months, because for the same month I want to go to the end of the month. Just close bracket, enter. So this gonna give you the end of the month. Okay, so when I instead of taking this, what I'll be doing, I'll just take a reference to this. Okay, so my first EMI is due at 30th April. Copy and paste this formula below. So it's gonna give you the month and date exactly for every month till 180. Right? Great. Now You can have based on this what exactly the theoretical balance. When you sanction and you are at what date and what time, then based on that you can easily understand. As simple as it. Yeah. Right. This is the way we can calculate. So if you have any question on preparing this, please let me know. You can take this period. Yeah. You can just take it to the next level by adding a financial year here. Maybe in the finance side, you can put financial year function so that you get to know for which financial year it belongs to. Okay, yeah, for which financial year it belongs to. Then you can have financial year wise pivot table so that you get to know ideally what must be the balance as on every year and so on. So this is very much helpful even in case of valuation also, financial modeling also, so that you'll exactly get to know for that financial year what is the total obligation. So now, yeah, you can save this file as EMI using formulas. Save. Yeah, that's all. Any question? Any question on this? I did it a little faster, I know that, but once you take this file, look into the formulas, I'm 100% sure you can make it. See, Excel is something until unless you practice, this everything will simply evaporate, no doubt. Practice is the most important, because you might have seen the same formulas at different places, different YouTube channels, but if you don't practice, next day these all functions looks new to us. Yeah. Over to you, sir, Chairman, sir.